Hey everyone, and welcome to the Game Week 25 team selection video. We are on the transfers page as we've just decided what we're doing for the week. Part of the decisions, it's been tough having to kind of do your own research because the site's not really great at updating whether suspensions happen or injuries and stuff like that, how likely someone is to play. So it's been a little bit tricky in that sense. But we do have two transfers that have been made, as well as I've been asked to try to maybe give a cup differential or two to pick up. So I'll try to do that as well, just for fun this week. But this is what the team is looking like this week. And in goal, we're sticking with Jan Sommer, even though it got a tougher fixture against Juve. I'm relying more on the inter defense right now, as we'll see with one of the transfers. And we'll just take that right into Denzel Dumfries coming in. Now he is blocked off red right now, but he is coming off of a suspension, which is why he missed the second Fiorentina Inter game. He should be eligible for this match, as far as I know. You can let me know if that's incorrect. But as far as I understand, his suspension's been served because it was based off of yellow card accumulation. And he should be back for this week. We are going with a full back five with Dodo against Como, Di Lorenzo against Lazio. Tougher fixture, but you're not sitting Di Lorenzo there. Teo Hernandez against Verona could be very big based on how Atalanta did against Hellas Verona this past weekend. And Bokema hoping to be back amongst the starting lineup. In the midfield, we have Yildiz, not expecting big things out of him against Inter, but we shall see there. Um, Lookman against Cagliari. Again, Lookman probably likely not to play this match, but in case he does, I'm going to have him in there. I'm assuming if he doesn't start, he's probably not going to play, and he'll just drop off for Freuler on my bench. And then vice captaincy on Christian Pulisic. Again, has that fixture against Verona, could be very high scoring. But it is hard not to trust Retegui this week with the armband against Cagliari, another weaker team. And you wouldn't necessarily see it aside from the fact that it's a crazy score. I believe he puts four more in. Now, not expecting that, but I could definitely see him at least scoring a goal, maybe a brace. Lastly, we've also brought in Kolo Muani, who has been in great flying form since coming to Juve and starting out in Serie A. In his last two Serie A matches, he has a brace in both games. Now, obviously, tougher opposition than the last couple, but it's very much just a form pick for me. I feel like not too many people would have him already in their squad. Sorry, one sec. You can advertisement pop up. Selected by 5.1%, so pretty good differential right now. Obviously, that 5.1, because he's come in later in the season, they will basically everyone that owns him is probably an engaged manager. It could also be some people starting really late and just getting him in the team that have no chance at competing for a title or anything. But still a pretty good differential pick there. And then Dumfries right now is 8.3 owned. Probably a lot of people have just had him on the bench after last week, or they probably started him because he did play one of the two double game week fixtures. But looking back, occasionally he gets subbed, but I think three out of the last four Serie A games that he has started in, he's played the full match. So much more likely for those double clean sheets than DeMarco, I'd say would be. And he has been very attacking this year. We see he's had 6 goals scored, an assist, and earned 3 penalties. That is interesting. Um, oh no, okay, sorry, earned 1 penalty. That makes more sense. It was worth 3 points. Just read the point total wrong there. Uh, oh no, that was just last week. Okay, backtrack for a third time. Has earned 3 penalties. One, two, and three. Okay, so yes, has earned the 3 penalties. So getting in and around the box, obviously, very frequent. Getting his clean sheets in. You can see a lot of twos, some ones, and those ones aren't because he's subbing off, it's just Inter's getting scored on sometimes. Although the Lecce one is because he got subbed off. And he just got off of suspension, so shouldn't be back on a suspension unless he's getting a red card anytime soon. So I would say unless you're like I've just got over Trem with that injury, he's like doubtful, he's not 100% starting. Ever since the like wild card occurred, he hasn't really done much. Maybe a couple goals off of sub-ons. And I'm not just really ready to sideways move it to Lautaro Martinez. I'm going to back the Inter defense right now and go a different direction in my attack with Kolomoani based on that form. And then the other player that I sold, as well as Trem, is Cambiaso. Still injured, wasn't really likely to start, and I needed to get rid of a Juve player in order to get Moani in. So Cambiaso ends up being the scapegoat this time. One thing to notice, while it may seem crazy to have Moise Kean on the bench, he actually is suspended for this week and has not been updated. That is the only reason that he is there, or else I would be playing him. So something to look out for there, and hence another reason why I wanted to bring in a striker, or else I'd just be really down to Retegui because Trem might not start at all. Am expecting Freuler to sub in for Lookman. But otherwise, I think I got a pretty reliable squad there. That's another kind of differential to maybe think about. I was really tempted to bring in not Kristovic at one point. He has been on fire this season, scoring with Lecce. He is in what is that? The top one, two, three, four, five, six, seven. So seven, but obviously top 10 very least is good. Cheap price and has some decent-ish fixtures coming up. Monza and Lecce and Udinese in there. Then some tougher ones. Goes back to Genoa. Three out of the next five, I'd say, are relatively good fixtures. And it really doesn't matter how many times Lecce gets scored on as long as Kristovic is doing his job up front too. So he's been an interesting player that I've been looking at. And as a differential, I'd say take a look at. I'd say Moani is a differential. He hasn't really paid off yet, but I do still want to keep faith in Neres a little longer before I get rid of him. Um, the last thing that we're going to talk about before we conclude this video is there is another confirmed double game week, not this week, but in game week 26. We see that Bologna and Milan will be playing twice. This is from a match that got canceled, I think, due to weather earlier in the year, if I remember correctly. Um, and so, yes, that's going to be next week. So I kind of planned for these fixtures being not too long after the wild card, and I'm glad that they have all come in already. Because after this, there's no more rescheduled games to slide in, so there's no more anticipated double game weeks. Um, if I were to be you and you were wanting to bring in these players, I think Pulisic and Theo Hernandez are still the players to go for Milan. Jimenez might be an interesting differential. Leao's had some form recently, I guess. You could try to go for him. But if you're going for Bologna players, I mean, Freuler's just consistent but not really explosive. I think Bukema is still a good choice. But if we're looking at the Bologna team, Skorupski, if you need a goalkeeper, not a bad option at all. I think if you're going for a defender, it's obvious we're going with Bukema. As a midfielder, he's collected the most overall, but if you're just bringing a Bologna player for the double game week and having a pun with it, actually, I didn't know that there was any doubtfulness around Orsolini. That's probably who I would have said. And Ndoye has had some good form at different parts this season. If you just want that consistent, like you're probably, if you get Freuler, I'd say you're looking at around 8 to 10 points by the end of the week, maybe 8 to 12 if he plays really good. And if he scores a goal, then it's going to be a lot better. But he's your consistent 4 to 6 pointer, and that's kind of what you're looking at with Freuler. I'd say a max of 12, a low of 8. If Orsolini gets better, he's the one that could score a goal, a brace in a game, and over a double game week, you could get some decent returns. So that's maybe who I'd suggest. Castro's had a decent season, although I forget if Dalinga's been playing more or not. I probably wouldn't go there. I'm thinking if you're getting a midfielder, striker, your two players that you're looking at are Orsolini and Freuler for Bologna. But a bit of a longer video with some other details in there. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you do, please don't forget to like and subscribe. And I will talk to you again soon. Have a good game week 25.